This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. EV buyers no longer have to wait until tax time to get their EV tax credit. Under new rules, the buyer can hand over rights to the credit to a dealership, which allows the dealer to apply the credit as a discount at the point of sale. The dealer is then later reimbursed by the IRS. The amount is based on whatever that particular EV is eligible for, which is up to $7,500 for a new car or $4,000 for a used one. So, it no longer matters how much taxes you pay on your income, and you can still get the full credit even if you owe on your taxes. But buyers that make over $150,000 a year on their own or $300,000 as a married couple are not eligible for the credit. And it may also take some time to find an eligible dealer to buy an EV from. Dealers have had since September of last year to sign up with the IRS. And according to the Treasury Department, as of last Friday, 8,700 dealers filled out the paperwork. But there's estimated to be more than 18,000 franchise dealers in the U.S. However, with the new rules kicking into effect on January 1st, the number of dealers that signed up jumped 1,300 in only 1 week, so the rollout could be quick. It will also help that the IRS just announced that it's giving dealers more time to get adjusted. It says dealers have until January 19th to submit reports of eligible EV sales that took place between January 1st and January 16th. EV range estimates should start getting a little closer to the real-world numbers. The EPA changed its rules to clarify how it defines a vehicle's drive modes. For example, eco, normal, and sport, and it forces an automaker to test all of those drive modes. The automaker will then post the estimated range based on the average of the results. And it's already having an impact. Tesla released updated range estimates for the Model S, X, and Y that are about 6% lower on average, and we expect to see more range updates. But it's likely to have less of an impact on legacy automakers because they've been more conservative with their range estimates. Volkswagen is delaying mass production of its small, affordable EV because of weaker emission regulations in Europe, which will allow it to sell cheaper ICE models longer than expected. The EV, based on the ID2 All concept, was supposed to go into mass production in 2025, but now that won't happen until 2026, according to German media. The original Euro 7 emission rules would have made it difficult to make a profit on small ICE vehicles because they would have required new components to meet the standards. But the auto industry successfully lobbied to weaken the rules so they could continue to sell small ICE models profitably through the end of the decade. That's why VW decided to delay volume production of the ID2 All for a year, but it will still make the model in low numbers in 2025 before ramping up production. Sticking with VW, the automaker is reversing course on its EV pricing strategy in Europe. Last year, CEO Oliver Blume said the company would not cut the prices of its EVs to better compete with Tesla in Europe. But due to slowing demand, VW is cutting prices of its ID models in several countries in Europe, and some of the cuts are significant. An ID5 in France now starts just over 50,000 euros, or 8,000 euros less than when it launched. And we'll have to wait and see if these price cuts help boost sales. But Bloomberg is no longer bullish on the Volkswagen Group's EV efforts. Back in June of 2022, a Bloomberg intelligence analyst predicted that the VW Group would pass Tesla in EV sales this year. But now, Bloomberg is forecasting that Tesla and BYD will lead the EV race for the next several years. And interestingly, even though BYD passed Tesla in EV sales in the fourth quarter of 2023, Bloomberg expects Tesla to remain ahead of BYD in sales, not just this year, but through the end of the decade.
At Teijin Automotive Technologies, we combine world-class composite materials expertise with cutting-edge designs because, frankly, there are better ways to lightweight vehicles. So lighten up with Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Last week, a group of 33 U.S. senators sent letters to non-union car companies urging them to stay neutral with the UAW's organization efforts. And now the National Labor Relations Board is alleging that Lucid illegally fired 2 employees because they joined and supported the UAW. According to a filing last week, the company also allegedly confiscated union literature and created the impression that the workers' activities were being monitored. Lucid denied the allegations and says it respects workers' rights to organize. While the NLRB can reinstate the workers, it doesn't have the authority to issue fines or penalize executives. Honda plans to start building EVs in North America in Ohio starting in 2026, but it might also build them in Canada. According to Japan's Nikkei newspaper, the automaker is considering investing $14 billion to build a new EV and battery plant in Canada. It wants to make a decision by the end of the year and kick off production in 2028. Autonomous trucking just took another step forward. Continental and Aurora say they have finalized the design and architecture of their Level 4 AV systems kit for heavy-duty trucks. The 2 companies first entered into a partnership last April and will now start building prototype versions of the hardware at a new site in Texas, as well as other parts of the world. By 2027, they plan to start producing the AV kits, as well as build up a service and maintenance network. Speaking of Continental, it's taking luxury display screens up a notch. Instead of being housed in some sort of bezel or having no frame at all, Continental is debuting the world's first automotive display fully embedded in Swarovski crystal. The 10-inch display features micro LED technology that makes the content on the screen look like it's floating, as well as facets cut around the border to give it a more premium feel. And premium is the kind of interior you could expect to see this screen in. And don't miss our coverage of CES, which just kicked off in Las Vegas. We'll be bringing you interviews and insights from experts and executives about the latest automotive tech the world has to offer. But that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for making Autoline a part of your day.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. And by Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
At CES January 9th through 12th, 2024, Intrepid's looking forward to seeing you at our booth 3666 Las Vegas Convention Center in the West Hall. We'll be demonstrating the latest and greatest in software-defined vehicles and zonal architectures, automotive Ethernet technologies like 10-base T1S and multi-gigabit. See you at CES 2024 Las Vegas Convention Center in West Hall booth 3666 or visit intrepidcs.com/sales.